Hey, what's up? My name is Salman and today I'm back with another video, and we're going to be talking about the situation with the PPP loan and what other option you have that you can take to get some money from that stimulus package. Let's get right into it. Alright, so let's do a quick overview of what that PPP loan is about. So because of the coronavirus pandemic that's going on, a lot of businesses have been forced to shut down and close if they're not considered essential businesses. So what the SBA and the government has passed a stimulus package which will provide funding for these companies so they can continue their operations. The main thing about this PPP loan is the government wants businesses to retain their employees and not fire them, because the businesses are not bringing in revenue and they're not able to pay their employees. A lot of businesses started firing their employees. So this is a good way for the government to fund the businesses. That way they can pay their employees and continue to their operations. The stimulus package, CARES Act, was passed on March 27th, and this included the PPP loan processing, which actually started around April 3rd, where you could start applying. And at this point, there's been millions of applications to get this PPP loan, and most lenders have stopped taking applications. You can't even get a loan anymore. The $350 billion that was part of the CARES Act is basically run out of money. So now what? Businesses are not able to get any money so they can pay their employees and continue running their businesses. So now let's get into the alternative that you can do. So let's talk about the alternative option, which is the employee retention credit. This credit is a refundable payroll tax credit that employers can claim on their federal tax returns for payroll wages. So essentially, the goal of both of the PPP and the ERC would be for businesses to retain their employees and keep them on their payrolls. So let's go in more detail into comparing the PPP with the ERC. Who is eligible for these? For the PPP, businesses that have less than 500 employees and some businesses that have over 500 employees are also eligible. You would have to check with that. Sole proprietors, independent contractors, self-employed, and non-profit organizations are eligible for these. Who's eligible for the employee retention credit? Employers of any size are actually qualified for the employee retention credit, but they actually have to show that their sales or their revenue was affected by the coronavirus. So they would actually compare last year versus this year income, and they want to see at least a 25% decrease in revenue. So the PPP application process for businesses actually started on April 3rd, and on April 10th, independent contractors and sole props were able to start applying for that. Like I said before, that part of the money has basically run out and businesses can't really apply for that. Lenders aren't taking applications. So the employee retention credit is actually still running, and you can claim it for all the payroll wages that happened from March 21st to June 21st of 2020. Okay, let's talk about how much money you can receive. For the PPP, it was actually up to $10 million, and the interest rate was about 1% per year, which is insanely cheap. But for the employee retention credit, if you have fewer than, I think, 100 full-time employees, then you would get 50% credit towards all the payroll wages. But if you have more than 100 full-time employees, then they would only consider the employees that were not working during the time. And this is capped out at $5,000 per employee. How do you apply for these? So for the PPP, you can start applying with an approved lender, and they're going to ask for additional documents like your business's taxes and your payroll ledgers. For the employee retention credit, you can immediately reduce your liabilities owed towards taxes by deducting the contributions that you have made, and then you're going to have to record this on your federal income taxes. Will you have to pay this money back? For the PPP, it's actually could be 100% forgivable. That's if you use it correctly. That's because 75% of it, at least 75% of it, has to go towards employees' payments, and the rest of it can go towards running your business. For the employee retention credit, it's also 100% forgivable. Lastly, you cannot claim both. If you are approved for the PPP and then you apply for the employee retention credit, you will have to pay back the loan, and it will not be forgivable. That is one of the disadvantages of both of these. So thank you for watching my video. I'm gonna include the links where you can apply and the forms that will be included.